What's going on, everybody? This is another episode of Metal on a Budget, and today I'm super excited to show you something I got, and that is a BC Rich BronzeSeries. This is just one of those iconic guitars, and to be able to get one for $70 at the local pawn shop is phenomenal. And on top of it, artists like Joe Perry from Aerosmith, Mike Thompson from like Slipknot, you have Slash from Guns N' Roses, and of course you can't forget your boys from Slayer, and I think Death also used the BC Riches. So lots of cool artists, and the one that I find the most fascinating would definitely be Aerosmith. Joe Perry doing those back in the day. That would be cool to see. But the question is, it was $70. So this video is not going to be like your regular video. This is going to be me trying to make this thing play. Because can it play? I'm not really sure. What I do know is that it is in one of the worst shapes I could ever get an instrument. And let's start off with the fretboard is falling off. You can't tell, but it's if you can push it down. So I'm gonna have to clamp that down, re-glue it, and pray for the best on that. This was a total gamble, but I've had guitars that are much like this in condition wise, and I've been able to fix them before. I actually adjusted something while I was at the pawn shop because this bridge was up here. But if you look, it actually bent this post over. So I'm hoping that it's not too damaged and I can bend it back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix this guitar in one video, but we're going to try. The main goal for today is not to pimp my ride on this thing yet, but to just get it to play. Because right now, it's completely unplayable. Unplayable to the point where it is absolutely the worst guitar I've ever had on the channel. The reason why I really do like the BronzeSeries 1980s Kramer back here that's all busted up, that was my first electric guitar. And it was horrible. My buddy at the time upgraded, so he sold me a BC Rich BronzeSeries, and it was the dual humbucker configuration. And I remember when I picked that guitar up and finally started playing it, it felt like I was a professional. For the first time, it felt good. The distortion sounded so much better. That's why we're here today. Can I get the worst playing guitar I've ever owned to actually play something? Because right now, there's no point to even plugging it in. On today's episode, we're going to set this thing up to see if it even plays. I might have to wire it, but if I can get it to play and sound good, then I have a super cool line of things that I'm going to be doing this guitar. I do have a different pickup, which I think I'm just going to keep the BC Rich pickup because, in my personal opinion, whatever the pickup lacks in or has too much of, I can always go back and EQ if I need to. A lot of the times it's not necessary, especially with high gain. If you're doing more clean stuff, sure. But in this case, I don't think changing the pickup and keeping it all original is the best way to go. I might actually hard mount this like Eddie did from Van Halen. He would mount his pickups directly to the body and get rid of the pickup ring. Apparently it sounds better. There's no scientific proof that that actually is better for metal, but who knows? I mean, it's something that if your pick ring is all busted up like this one, I do have an extra one over here with some extra parts. If you see here, some super glue for the neck. And then I have a pickup ring here I might use. It's the exact same angle, so it will work. I just might paint it. I might sand it and paint it black or red or whatever. I'm not exactly sure. One thing I will note is that I really do like the rosewood on this neck. I think it's a very pretty rosewood. So with that being said, let's just try to get it to work. I retrieved the tools. I have a rubber mallet and I have a flathead screwdriver. And so far, I feel like this might be what it takes to at least get it playing, to diagnose if that pickup works. This is a legitimate guitar that I have not tried to plug in at all. Like I bought it for this body because no matter what, this body is going to get sanded and crackle finished. It'll be the first guitar that I ever do one of these finishes on. I've done stained guitars in the past. I do wish I would have documented those. They looked amazing. And my buddy was also doing a lot of those at the time. But rubber mallet so we don't hurt none of the metals. And basically, I just want to detune this thing all the way down. I'm not stringing it up. I'm not doing any of that until I know this thing plays. It's not happening. I'm not wasting the money. That's metal on a budget. It doesn't play around when it comes to this stuff, man. That one's backwards. Someone tuned it backwards. But these strings are not the worst, actually. It looks like they kind of makeshift some like acoustic strings or something. They recently replaced this one. These have been here the longest. These three are like brand new. So I'm not changing strings until I know this thing can metal. All right, we're about here. I need to get this off where I can pull some tension off, and then I just need to beat this thing is not straight. Like this pole is pushed forward. This one's not as bad because there's not as much tension. So I'm hoping it just kind of slid up and out, and that's what it looks like. So right now, we're going to do the most professional thing you've ever seen me do and hit a guitar with a hammer. And another thing is, if you're a Stranger Things fan, then I think one of these in your collection is awesome for a upgradable platform. Like I said, I don't think pickups and all that stuff really matter. I think your speakers matter the most. And if you think I'm wrong, that's okay. I don't know everything, but I do watch some really intelligent people and I follow them like Glenn Fricker. He talks about it a lot. So let's get into this. I'm not professional like Glenn, so we're going to hit this guitar with a hammer. Next thing, I think that I will hard mount this pickup if it does work. But main thing is just take all the tension off this until you can seat this back in there. So far, it's not looking good. It might actually be completely bent. I'm not sure yet. We're going to release a little more slack to maybe get this bridge completely off. I just do not want to change these strings until I know the wiring is at least hooked up and it works. I don't want to waste any strings because they're expensive. And I do play live. I do play in a band. And it costs me hundreds of dollars a month for the strings on just my personal instruments. This one could maybe get sold in the future after I'm done. But I doubt anybody wants a guitar that I beat on with a hammer. See if we can get this all the way off. We're almost there. It's not conventional what I'm doing here, but this guitar is in such bad shape. I really don't care what kind of damage. As long as I don't put any huge dents or anything in it, I'm going to be okay to sand and paint this thing whatever color I want. But the main thing right now is just get this freaking bridge out of my hair without taking the strings off. I know it's unorthodox, but it is what it is. Okay. That's why we use the rubber hammer, because it would annihilate that soft metal. And you see this ring's just falling apart here, and it sucks. It's not doing much. But this is looking a lot better already. And like I said, it's unorthodox by every standard of what I do when I work on instruments. But this thing is junk, man. And I love it. I love that it doesn't matter. I love that I would never do this to one of my personal instruments. So I'm having a lot of fun just hitting it with a hammer. And I don't think they're bent. It looks like they have seated back into position here. If you look, if you can see there, let's get it in. It looks like they're seating a lot better. So we'll actually have a little bit better height. And as you see here, it mauled this pickup ring and it's unsalvageable. And this right here is a screw that needs to come out, and I'll have to replace the screw. I'm just going to hard mount this right now with you guys. This pickup ring's so shot, it's time for it to go. And this is horrible, but I think I can get it out by hand without messing the threads up because I did bend this screw. I'll probably just rebend it back, but I really don't need it. We'll see. If this doesn't hard mount, I'll just mount the cream pickup in it, the cream pickup ring. But I really don't want to do that because I want to keep this thing black and purple. Everything, I want the tuners, I want all this to be purple. I want to do a black and purple crackle finish on this instrument. Now, I do love to keep everything, but I'm not allowed to keep everything. So this one could be potentially, when I'm done, I would never sell it to anybody in this condition. Never. But the local pawn shop that I work with, I tell them if they can find stuff like this for me, I will buy it from them. So there's no hard feelings to my local pawn shop. I really appreciate them because they're giving me sweet content, and I have a lot of fun working on this stuff. So what the hard mount is kind of interesting. It's a Van Halen thing. I don't know how well it's going to work on this instrument, but while we're here, I just want to get in here and look at this pickup, see what we got going on, and oh my goodness. So there's definitely been someone in here at one point. I don't know what this is. They put this thing in there. I'm not sure. Very weird. Let's look. Unless, I doubt that little red thing came in there stock. I think someone's tried to repair this since the pickup ring is completely shot. I do have this pickup ring I've had for 10 plus years. Never knew what to do with it. I could paint it purple and throw it on there. That might be an option. And then I also have this pickup right here. It's kind of like a DiMarzio deactivator kind of look, but this is a stock Ibanez pickup that I thought sounded really good, and the owner did not want it in there. He had the pickup replaced with something else. I believe it was a Seymour Duncan of some sort, but anybody that upgrades their pickups, I've always taken the old ones. I've always collected them. I think this is from like a Washburn. So I have all kinds of old pickups from early 2000s and even older than that. Might not look pretty at first, but this was what guys were doing, especially when they were traveling. And a lot of those guys back in the day didn't have a tech, so they would just do what they could with what they had. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's really not going to affect your tone in a bad way as long as you can get your pickup to the good height for the strings. We're off to see the wizard. You just got to stretch these strings back. It's not ideal at all, but I'll take what I can get. It's better already, but not good. It's trial and error. I can hear notes. That's a positive sign that I've done something. Doesn't mean it's good something, but I've done something. You keep messing with it until you figure it out, right? And that's leaning forward again. So there's how I do that. I just take the whole thing off, get it out of my way. But it has a 3 and a 9, so maybe this thing was built in 2009. Who knows? All I know is that doesn't look bent. I don't think you can bend these. These are thick. Okay. So I'm pulling these sleeves out. That's what those look like. So you're probably wondering, what are you going to do here? Well, I have a couple ideas. We're going to try to use a wedge style technique here. Doesn't look like that's moving, so I'll take it. Okay. We're just shoving guitar picks in there. You're probably wondering, like, why, dude? Perfect. It's not moving. I think it is playable now. Well, there you have it, guys. I cannot believe that it's even playing with this bridge, and I can't wait to replace it. This isn't even supposed to be here. I'm surprised it even plays, but I was able to get it to play with the wedge, and if I get a proper bridge for it, I think this thing's going to play and feel phenomenal. And it does sound good. It needs a rewire on the input jack, but overall, it's for 70 bucks. I really am happy with this platform. I'm not afraid to have to work on it, and I can't wait to do a paint job. I'm going to film every bit of the journey of this instrument as it goes, but right now you get to hear it in a mix, and it is literally the worst guitar in my collection at the moment because of this bridge situation. But if you like the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification button for all the latest content, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your day.